the Let's Talk Sports fans. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers, baby. I'm your host, Bodkins. Witt will be joining us here just shortly. So tune in. We have got a lot to talk about in the MMA world. We got to look at last weekend's co-main and main event. I really enjoyed, especially the co-main. I mean, Manny Moncano, baby. What a thrilling fight he was in. And then the main event was a little meh. This week's card, a little meh. But my guy Joe Pyfer's fighting on it. Jack Hermansson's no slouch either. So looking forward to that fight on Saturday. Obviously, then the following week, we got UFC 298. And we're 2 pay-per-views away. We still don't have the main event for UFC 300. So what's going on, Dana? What is going on with UFC 300? It seems like he's busy playing blackjack and everything else. What up, Triple B? Check out the Triple Bs. I will be on their show Saturday night on their YouTube and live on their Facebook feed, I believe. So check out the Triple Bs. I'll be joining them Saturday night at 7 p.m. Central Time Zone. So can't wait to hang out with the Triple Bs there. Daniel says, "What's up? What up, yo, Daniel?" So what's good? So I mean, man. We'll talk about that with Witt. But what is going on with Dana White? That's what we were talking about. Seems like no announcement on the UFC 300. Seems like everybody's trolling here. Dana was asked about Conor coming back today, and we'll talk to Witt about this here in a little bit when he joins us. And it seemed like he said the fall. I don't know, man. I'm so indifferent on this Conor stuff. If he's ready now, which is being reported by Ariel Helwani, is saying, hey, Conor's ready to go. Conor's saying he's ready to go. We know Chandler's always ready to go. Why can't that be the main event of UFC 300? Just get it out the way. He said Conor in the fall, but earlier Conor had posted a video said it's going to be International Fight Week. So who knows what the hell's going on with Conor's situation, and who knows what the hell's going on at UFC 300 main event. I feel like, we don't have any idea. I don't think anybody else. I mean, you hear Alex and Tom Aspinall. You hear you hear Izzy and DDP. You hear Izzy and Alex. Who knows? Nobody knows. It seems like. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So we'll talk with Witt here in just a minute. He is getting ready to roll out. So, and we'll talk to him about that. We'll talk to him a little bit about this Dustin Poirier situation. Man, that was an interesting all day event. I think it was Friday, Thursday or Friday. So as you know, Dustin Poirier is actually supposed to fight at UFC 299. He's in the co-main event against one Benoit Saint Denis. Now, Thursday or Friday, I can't remember what day. I want to say it was Thursday. Seems like Benoit Saint Denis or Dustin tweeted out, fights off, still training. And everybody's like, shit, man, we wanted to see that fight. I was one of them. Was like, yeah, dang, I wanted to see that fight. Wonder what happened. I thought maybe BSD got hurt. BSD said, I'm not hurt. I thought the fight was still on. As far as I know, Dana's like saying, no, the fight's still on or whatever. But, I think this was a little public negotiations for Dustin Poirier. Dustin's like, oh, y'all want to announce the fight? Say I'm fighting. I ain't signed no contract. You ain't willing to give me the money I want? Well, guess what? Fight's off. And everybody was mad. And then they quickly, a few hours later, call up DP and, they make the money right. And then he tweeted, hey, my bad. I couldn't get a hold of my manager. What do you mean? What do you mean you couldn't get in today's world? What's your manager doing? Is he just, what's your manager doing, DP? he out just on some excursion. You couldn't get a hold of him. I mean, it'll be interesting. Let's go ahead. We got our guy Whit here. Whit, what's up, my man? We missed you last week. Welcome back this week, brother.
What's going on, bro? I missed you, man. When I tell you I had an adventure that I wish everyone could have been in on. When you got when your family's expanding, you got to make like life-changing decisions and shit.
Amen. Hey, we all been there.
Had to do that last week.
When I was talking to the folks here about the Dustin Poirier situation, about how he was pretty much saying like the fight was off. Everybody was mad. Everybody was like, "Shit, man, this fight's off." We all wanted to see this Poirier BSD fight, and then he comes out and says, "Oh, my bad. I couldn't get a hold of my manager, and now the fight's back on. My bad." It was all public negotiations by Dustin Poirier, and good for him. Now he gets the bag. Correct?
Yeah, I think it was a media tactic.
Money. Hey.
Oh, I don't know him. He's not that good. Let me divert some attention. Let me tell everybody. Hey, I think that Max Holloway is going to beat Gaethje. All kinds of stuff except for what really mattered at the time. But in the end, I think it worked.
He got the money, and the fight's on, and we get to see it. So
that's what I was going to say. The fight, the bag is secured now, and instead of acting like he don't know nothing, I bet you Dustin Poirier will be prepared.
What do you make of him saying? So they came to him and said, "Hey, you can be on UFC 300. It'll probably be the first fight on the card on the pay-per-view." And he said, "Nah, I want to do." He said 299 and give me a five rounder. Mm-hmm. And he said he just likes it because he feels like the better man usually wins in 5 rounds, unless somebody's getting knocked out. Which I mean, in BSD's case, he's knocking out a lot of folks.
Man, it's one of those things where I think for Benoit Saint Denis and compared to Dustin Poirier, we got to look at it in the situation of, hey, who's been there and who's done it. And we've seen, Poirier go in there and take guys out. We've also seen him go into deep water. Somewhere in there, I think that he feels like he'll have a better chance of not, getting rushed into
you don't have to sprint. You don't have to sprint.
Exactly. You don't have to rush into it and try and take him out. In 5 rounds, he can figure some things out and maybe see a weakness and maybe land a good shot. But Benoit Saint Denis, man, I'm telling you, like I tell everybody all the time, when you see some of these different fighters that you haven't paid attention to, Benoit Saint Denis is one of those guys in the next year and a half we're gonna have to pay attention to, especially if he beats the likes of Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, and it was nice tactics by Dustin. What do you make of? I mean, we still don't have. Hold on, I want to get this part right. I got to get to my. I tweeted this out earlier today, or maybe it was yesterday. I believe it was in 2000 and. February 7th. So 2013, 11 years ago today, the UFC signed none other than Conor, the Notorious McGregor, to his first contract. And here we are. And it seems like Dana, I was at the top of the show, I said Dana came out today and said it seems like he wants to do that fight in the fall. When are we going to see Conor? Are you over this Conor Chandler thing? It's been going on for, seems like, over 2 years here.
To be honest with you, I'm a little more I'm a little more remiss now because I saw the preview for
Roadhouse.
And I said, this is what Conor McGregor was doing. Okay, I can.
Yeah, we knew that. We knew that he was doing one of the movie.
Yeah, I knew. I mean, I knew, but it looks the longer detailed scenes that I saw online somewhere. I'll tell you about that later. He looks in shape, but of course, for the movie, he put on way more weight than he would. Fight. But in that same case, I was like, okay, maybe he was. This is what has been taking up his time. Am I excited to see the fight finally, Chandler and Connor, it's kind of dying down on me, man.
I don't think it's ever going to at this point in time. I'm not too sure it's ever going to happen. So Ariel is reporting that Ariel Hawani is reporting that Connor said he's ready. He wanted to fight at UFC 300, which we still don't have a main event. So I don't know why you don't do Connor and Chandler at 300. Maybe I get the UFC wanting to squeeze that Connor money in another spot. But the problem is, Connor's only got 2 fights on his contract left. And maybe they're trying to ice him till he signs another contract. I don't know, because they've done these things in the past, a la Nate Diaz. You know what I mean? They kind of iced Nate for a long time, and then tried to beat Hamzat, and then that fight fell kind of through. So this is typical UFC tactics here. Maybe trying to ice Connor. Are you buying into that notion?
To me, I think it's more of a Dana White is a genius when it comes to putting these things together. And the idea of a spectacle is what I think Dana White wants. 300 would be a perfect, ideal spectacle to put the two of them on.
I mean, why not? They are both ready. They both said, let's go.
Yes, but is there another gear that Dana White has in mind for maybe the second half of 2024?
Well, he said the fall. That's months down the road.
It's a day away for me and you and the people who really have been waiting for it. But for somebody who's saying, look, the big payday is down the line, maybe they're thinking about, the heavyweights possibly being involved. I sent you that tweet. I'm not really buying into the heavyweights being on 300, but maybe
I don't think it's they're talking Alex and Tom Aspinall. I'm not buying into that either.
Yeah, no, but maybe they throw the heavyweights in the third quarter, fourth quarter, and that would be the heavyweights and then Conor McGregor co-main type event is a possibility, because of course Tom's got to put up a defense, and we have yet to see who exactly it will be. So I'm waiting to see. Trust me, I'm like you, bro. I want to see Conor McGregor. I want to see all the Irish fans in the stands. I want to see that crazy left hand pause, but at the same time, I'm gonna give him a little bit more time, just a little bit more time before I fall off the map and go, all right, let's put somebody else in there.
The guy I feel bad for Mike Chandler. Like, he's been trying to chase this, red panty night for 2 years, like it seems like, and we can't get it going,
And Chandler's one of those guys who we know is ready, is fully prepared. What's going on, Rob? Yep, it was my guy saying what's happening. And of course, I think Chandler's been ready. He's not one to make excuses. He's already TTG at the time. Of course, we did see the tough how everybody was looking in the Ultimate Fighter competition. Chandler felt then, you know what I'm saying, and show that now it's like a year and a half ago. But for now, I'm still expecting somehow, some way today they're going to figure it out. But Dana has, I think, a larger spectacle in mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see the crazy thing is UFC 300 tickets come out this Friday, and they haven't announced a main event. So, it'll be interesting what that main event is. They got to do it by Friday, right? I mean, are they going to let tickets go before there's a main event announced? Do you think?
Listen, once again, Dana White, Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, it's a plan, but we don't know it. And he'll get on Instagram. He'll be in a really small shirt. He'll stand in front of a globe and go, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, 300, whatever. And he'll throw something out. He'll spitball something at the wall, and we'll see what sticks. But I really feel like whatever he has nailed together right now, he's going to hold it to the last minute. And then, boop, ticket sales skyrocket, jump out the building, and we'll have to wait for that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe they're waiting on ticket sales to announce that main event. But it's already sold out. It doesn't fucking matter what we put on it as the main event.
Listen, bro, 10. And when I think me and you talked about it with Rob the last time I was on the show, 10 previous belt holders on a pay-per-view. That is somewhat of a huge leap compared to what we see. And I'm not knocking what Dana White does in the past. Of course, we got to see the up and comers, the contenders.
Right, we're trying to make UFC 300 special, and it is.
Yeah, when you throw this many ex-title holders on this, like 1 through basically everybody who's 1 through 5 in just about every division except for heavyweight, I believe. Like, come on, dog. This is it's made for TV, damn near.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with what they do there. What did you think of my guy Money Mocano? Man, he cut the promo of the year so far on Saturday night. I mean, as a guy who loves to throw a few F-bombs around, Money Mocano probably gave me a run for my money. It's my fucking dad, he's fucking 62 years old. He fucking got a fucking kid pregnant. He's like, Money Mocano number 3 is I'm going home and fucking my wife and she's getting fucking pregnant.
Right.
I mean, then it was, oh, fuck, I'm going to become a fucking cop, I love fucking America. I mean, I'm all in on Money Mocano. I love the fight. Him and Drew Dober was a heck of a fight. It was a fun fight. But Money Mocano on the microphone. And then he kind of called out some guys and, he even offered up, he said, him and Patty at, UFC 301, which is going to be in Brazil. So
listen, bro. I first of all, let's just say this. Moicano has an idea of what social media and viral moments do, because I'm telling you, there's 9 million ways you could cut that promo up and run the views up on that one just to get his name out there. But yeah, a sincere guy, a real fighter, so to speak. He's not fabricated. This is somebody who will go in there and bang it out. Now, will he take on Patty or something? That, it's interesting when you think about those matchups when you put these kind of guys together. It's gonna be a slugfest, and that's what sometimes and a lot of times we think about heavyweights, middleweights having one of those knockdown dragouts. Nah, some those lower weight divisions, bro. At times, those are the ones where the bigger, more exciting fights happen. So I was really into the whole promo, and I can't wait to see exactly what he's going to do next. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, me too.
We're about to put our eyes on that one.
I like Money Mocano. Rob Thomas, that's Jim fucking Miller's on 300 now to everybody. So I hope I would love to see what's his name as the fucking announcer. It's evading me.
My guy. Now you're making me draw a blank because now I'm thinking about it.
Bruce Buffer. Bruce Buffer. I'd love to see him say Jim fucking Miller at the UFC 300. I don't know why.
He might throw it in there. He's a professional. He could do it.
But what'd you think of the main on Saturday? I thought the main event was a bit of a fucking Bruce Buffer, not Michael Buffer, but Bruce Buffer. Thanks, Rob. Michael's the brother.
They was related in real life, though.
Yeah, they're brothers, and they didn't even know each other. They were brothers until they got older. It's not like they grew up together.
They end up doing the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Almost like me and you.
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. Thoughts on the main event, Roman Dolidze, and now I'm drawing a blank. Who even fucking fought?
Yeah, this was one of those, like, I'm more so out of the loop on that one because when I was watching
Imanov, yeah,
when I was watching the event that night, so to speak, Family Matters, because everybody knows getting ready to have a baby popped up, and I'm like, oh well, I gotta not watch TV. So tell me what took place because I missed it. I'm looking at the results right here.
Yeah, so Nasruddin Imanov pretty much just took it to him. It was a majority decision. There was some bad blood there. There was eye poke. There was a headbutts. But Roman Dolidze just didn't have any answer for Nasruddin. Nasruddin almost took him out in the. I was surprised Herb didn't call it in the first round, and by God, I wish he would have, so it would have ended the fight earlier, and we could have just fucking went home because in the first, Nasruddin almost had him out, had Dolidze out of there, and typically, Herb Dean calls it kind of somewhat early-ish, didn't call it, and so there's that, and
shout out to Herb Dean, man. Herb Dean is one of those guys that gets out there and is really working for sure.
Didn't call it in the rest of the way. Nasruddin Imanov took it over. Him and Chris Curtis had some back and forth because their last fight ended up in an illegal headbutt, and he was cornering Roman Dolidze. and it didn't. And they got into it. They're flashing, they're giving each other the finger back and forth. So it was kind of interesting there. Rob Thomas said Bruce Buffer's son did his back tattoo.
What? Bruce Buffer?
Yeah.
Okay, Rob, we need a picture of your back. This is
Hokey Herb. Yeah, I mean, who knows what Herb's going to do? I did think that Herb was going to call it and probably should have. Seen her worst earlier stoppages from Herb Deem himself. Randy Brown had a nice knockout. Then he kind of set up a fight with Michael Chiesa later down the road. It seemed like Chiesa was interested into that. I'm good with that. That was a nice fight by knockout by Randy Brown. He takes on Michael Chiesa, gets him the rankings. So in the future,
Chiesa too, because Chiesa's having a bit of a resurgence right now. Of course, I tell you, some guys stand out to me when they get out there. Michael Chiesa, when I first started catching on to him, was one of those guys like, look, he gets in there, he handles his business. So shout out to him for getting a little bit of a resurgence in the last towards the end of 2023, like last year.
Rob says this is my new Wednesday night home. Hey Rob, programming note, we won't be on next Wednesday because of Valentine's Day. Two married guys got to do the wife thing. But we will have it on Saturday. We'll let you know the time. Rob, I know you follow me on Twitter, so I'll put out the time and hit that bell, folks. So, but for the most part, we'll be here every Wednesday. So
for sure, Wednesdays is the time and the place. Yeah, no Wednesday, no, yeah, Valentine's Day, man. You want to see a real fight? Let me not do something for my wife on Valentine's Day. Let me just, baby, I got to do a show. It'll be on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be live.
Hey, we try to squeeze one in on Saturday, Rob, to cover the UFC. We're working on a guest to come on as well to talk. We always like to bring a guest on for Valentine's Day. My wife won't want no guest in on Valentine's Day, but for the pay-per-views. Let me ask you this: looking at this week's card, at first I was like, I don't really like this card, but couple of my favorite fighters are on here are fighting. RoboCop, Gregory Rodriguez is fighting Brad Tavares, which is a tough fight. I love RoboCop. And then we got Dan 50K Ige versus Andre Fili in this fight. But then the main event, this guy, I really love this story of Joe Pyfer.
Right.
And versus Jack Hermanson. Joe Pyfer trying to get into those top 15 rankings against a tough guy like Jack Hermanson who's fought them all. Joe Pyfer, if you don't know his story, just go watch this. He was on Rogan. He's been on a bunch of different shows, but the short and gif of Joe Pyfer's story, his dad's an alcoholic father, beat him all the time, like physically abusive.
Him and Sean would get along great.
Huh?
Him and Sean would get along great.
Yeah. Similar story to Sean Strickland. Gets on to Contender Series. He's dead broke. Gets on the Contender Series, breaks his arm on the Contender Series, and loses his fight. They think they don't even know if he's ever going to fight again after he broke his. It was such a freak accident how he broke his arm on the Contender Series. He was dead broke. I think then he gets his arm fixed and healed. Dana White actually gives him a house to live in during this time. Gets back on Contender Series and has been undefeated since.
Yeah, man. It's one of those touching stories when I got a chance to go back and look through it. And I don't know if the casual MMA fan really watches Joe Rogan, but I watch Joe Rogan. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Trust me. But this was an actual interesting one with look, man.
He's got a documentary coming out that's going to be pretty good. He's talked about it a few times, so I'm going to be interested in trying to watch Be Joe Pyfer.
Yeah, listen, man. Joe Pyfer's got a story to tell, and I think he lives his best life in the ring. Some guys really come from one of those backgrounds where they can't really tell you about it. They can't really express it. It's harder for them to do. But when they are in the gym or in the ring, that's where they live. And literally, like Joe Pyfer is one of those guys. I watched the Razak Al Hassan, fight, and I was like, wait a minute, that's the guy we're talking about, and he looks like a murderer, which is good, for UFC standards. And now look at him after like the really tough time he had. Like
Stubbed him in no time, and yeah, that was in the second round.
yeah, that he like I said, he looked like a madman during that one. But like you said, coming from breaking his arm in the contender series to having nothing, and right now, if I'm not, it's like 12-2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
12-2. Yeah,
12-2, man. Eight TKOs, 3-1 on submissions. Like this is the kind of story that we look for in MMA all the time. Like the underdog not only in life, but the underdog in the ring. Actually, he coming to be a main event star, man. So I'm
yeah.
looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to him. Since I heard his story, I've been really enjoying his story. Since he's been in the UFC outside the Contender Series, I mean, smoked Gerald Mershark in the first round TKO, smoked Amadavosky in the first round as well. So he's, now here he is after beating Alsan. Here he is trying to get into the top 15 against, the always game Jack Hermanson. Jack is 23-8. Did lose his last time out to Roman Dolidis, who we just talked about. Did have a win over Chris Curtis. Did have a loss over Sean Strickland back in February of 2022. So it's been over a year since we've seen Jack Hermanson, though, since December 3rd, 2022. So it's been a while since we've seen Jack, and now he's back, and the Joker's back, and trying to take on, keep his ranking as he takes on Joe Pyfer, man. It's going to be a good one. And, actually, Hermanson's a dog on this one at plus 210.
Yo, listen, man. Hermanson having a little bit more time away from the ring may play into this one. But, of course, you look at that record, 23-8, bro. I mean, he's got experience in these situations where he's had some time off. He's got to, refer back to what he knows best. And Hermanson does not play as far as putting that pause on someone. So this is kind of one of those who's really got it in you type fights. The last time I was thinking about it, and I looked looked at some stuff. I mean, he got our guy Action Man Curtis up out of there in the second round.
Yeah.
And that type of firepower coming at you is not something that you can easily dispute. You got to be on your 1-2, and Joe Pyfer is possibly game enough to withstand the barrage because he was on Curtis.
I mean, Hermanson's a huge wrestler, but I think even on the ground, Joe will be able to take him down. Withstand him. Jack is number 11 ranked at the middleweight. So, I mean, Joe Pyfer goes and beats Jack Hermanson. He's looking at the top 10. Like right there.
For sure. Hey, listen, this is what you want. You want somebody to see your name in lights. You want to prove it and prove the doubters wrong. And then you want to move up in Uncle Dana's eyesight, right there, 10, 9, 8. Uncle Dana's looking. He knows your name now. Of course, he already knows your name, but this is exactly what you want to see. So I'm excited. The name, it doesn't have the name on this card like that, that grasps your eye. But there are some hellified good fights on this card for sure.
Yeah, and Dan Ige is trying to do the same thing against File. He's Dan Ige is ranked 13, so File trying to take his spot in the rankings. We know Dan's a tough out, always game. He's a guy that'll punch your lights out for sure.
Oh yeah, man. Listen, Dan Ige is another cat where if you're not paying attention, the fight's over. You gotta be ready for it. Andre File, another guy, man. Like really, when you think about some of that orthodox style, where look, you mess around, okay, here's your back, there's your neck. All of a sudden, now we got a couple of submissions in there, but these are two guys because File, if you look at him, if you squint just a little bit, he looks like Cody No Love to me. Like that, it looks just like Cody Garbrandt a little bit. So I'm expecting this one to be and his nickname is Touchy, and he's in alpha male. Everybody knows these alpha male fighters are out here for striking like crazy. That's what they're known for. Elbows, knees, however their hands may go. But Of course. And who's the dog on this one?
File is.
Yeah, okay. I would think so. Yeah, I'm liking Ige, man, but he's gotta bring it on this one. This is not a sleeper. You know what I'm saying? This is not one to walk in and not be on your A game. I mean, just like we mentioned, of course, he did take a L last year in September, but he was on a 2-fight win streak prior to that. He got one
Yeah.
by decision and one by knockout. So it's one of those things where, look, man, you better bring it because this young man File is trying to make a name for himself for sure.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt. I like Ige to win that one too. Also, this could be fight of the night, or it's going to be short fight tonight, and that's that Gregory Rodriguez RoboCop. Man, this guy doesn't get out of the first or second round with any fight he's in. And he's taking on the always tough Brad Tavares. So I like that just as a middleweight, just two guys trying to work up into the rankings in Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop. His last time out had a win, then before that had a loss. But I mean, you look at his fights inside the UFC, man, they don't go very long, and they don't go. They're usually somebody's going to sleep.
For sure, man. And look, as we talk about fights on the undercard, I like that one. Listen, like you said, we're looking at some history. The fights, if you look at it right now, folks, these fights for this young man do not last very long. Okay, so is it a possibility that we're going to be seeing another one? We're going to be getting to the main event just a little bit quicker. But Brad Tavares, man, okay, we thinking, what can he do, or what skills does he have to take out a guy like Rodriguez? Well, Brad Tavares has been a bit of a, somewhat of a boring guy. But in the same, we don't want to call him boring as if he can't fight. It's just that his style's a little bit different. Of course, when you're thinking about just somebody going in there that you gotta defend for, not too much. But in the same time, Rodriguez is the grappler, but he's been taking guys out. Maybe we see a slobber knocker in this one as well.
I think we will. I mean, Tavares last time out, he beat the legendary guy that is Chris Weidman in his first fight back. So, so yeah.
If you go 2 years ago, guess who we took out? DDP. Crazy, right? Look how the tables turn.
Right. Exactly. I do want to say real quick, shout out to Molly McCann getting a huge win last week as in her new weight class. So like to see Molly, in the win column. She's another person I like to cheer for is Molly McCann. She had a huge win last weekend over Diana Belbita as her strawweight debut. So and she got the submission. So
real quick, I want to throw this out there too. Darius Flowers, Michael Johnson. Interesting fight in my mind. For real, Michael Johnson was sliding up the ranks slowly but surely last time I checked. And then for some odd reason, he's been slipping into darkness. Maybe his last fight against Fiera. Then he lost another one against Moncari, but like the fight before that at the beginning of 2022. So he's only had one fight in 23, and he has not fought since May. So he's had some huge time off. But Michael Johnson is straight up and down one of those guys where you got to keep your eyes open. The fights don't last long. 22-19, 9 TKOs. I'm really looking at this one like, look, okay, Darius Flowers better bring his A game for sure for this one.
Agreed. Meatball with the smash match. Yeah, it was a smash match for it. But I like to see Molly kind of get on a run here. With breaking news in the boxing world before we get out of here. Unfortunately, we were supposed to get ready to see Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury looked like he got hit upside the head with a frying pan. Now the fight has been moved back to May. Now it does say if any of the fighters pull out, if one of the fighters pull out, injury or not, if they pull out, they actually got to pay the other fighter's purse, according to Mr. Turkey Ashik. So fight's still going to happen eventually, just not in. I think it was supposed to happen in February or March.
It was supposed to happen at the end of the month.
Yeah, end of the month, right? And now it's getting pushed back to May. A lot of words were said in a quick interview with Ariel Helwani on Saturday. Pretty much that, I mean, Tyson said, I ain't no coward. I've been knocked down. I've been doing this for 18 years. I've always gotten back up. I'll show you.
Who's the lineal pimp? Who's the fought the toughest punches?
Yeah.
Like, yo, he's pissed.
I mean, so we're looking. I'm looking.
He thought somebody called his wife a bitch. I think that.
Yeah, because it looked like he got because it said I think that his Usyk's manager said it looked like Tyson Fury like a bitch hit him upside the. I think Fury said I got hit. A bitch hit me upside the head, so he's like, it looked like that bitch got hit. So he thought was his wife was calling him a bitch, but I don't think it really was. Kind of like there's just a miscommunication there, but nonetheless. Fight is off until May. Thoughts on that? And I mean, thoughts on that cut was, and Fury looks in good shape, by the way.
Yeah, no. First off, I did get to see his Instagram post. He gave a big shout out. Salam alaikum, Turkey Al Sheikh. We'll be there whenever you call.
Whenever you want the H&H boys to come host a show live in Turkey, we're available.
We will be there, Turkey Al Sheikh, I promise. But then on the same ticket, like looking at this, man, if you think that McGregor Chandler has people foaming at the mouth, Fury Usyk has people foaming at the mouth because of the implications of what's going to happen in the heavyweight division. Because right now, of course, this was supposed to happen first. Then we're supposed to get Joshua Ngannou, which then you would get one fight to kind of unify the masses. Now it's kind of going to happen a little bit out of order. Because
we're getting it looks like we're getting the Fury, the Ngannou Joshua fight first.
Yeah, we're going to end up I said it too much. One of my insiders just texted me. So we're going to get the Fury and Ngannou fight first. I personally have been looking for Tyson Fury to fight Usyk for about a year and a half. Usyk's a great middleweight, but we have to see him at a heavier weight for a longer period of time. Usyk normally knocks guys out. So the fights don't last as long. But when you're fighting the best pound-for-pound fighter at a weight class that you've never been in, this is what's going to make it interesting. So I guess we'll just have to wait a couple more months, man. Maybe we'll see, McGregor and Chandler and Fury and Usyk all in the second half of the year.
I hope so. I'd like to see it soon. So. Wait, you got anything to add before we get up out of here with this nice little quick show tonight? And then again, folks, we'll be back on probably next Saturday. We'll preview UFC 298. Speaking of that, we'll talk about it. Has anybody been more confident going into a fight than Ilia Topuria? I don't know if you've caught any of this stuff. I mean, he is just trashing. Volkanovski says, I'm going to finish him in the first round. In his bio, in his IG or Twitter bio, it already says he's the featherweight champion, UFC champion, undefeated. And then he come out and said, I'm not giving Volk a rematch. I'm not giving Maxim a fight. I'm not giving Ortega or Yair. None of those guys are getting title fights. Man, what do you make of that before we get up out of here?
The first, all right, so I'm gonna do that. That right there is a confident man. He has to back it up. Volkanovski.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I mean, it's with all this shit that he's talking, like, man, you better go in there and blow the doors off against one of the greatest of all time.
Right, he's got to, and there is no missing, no half stepping when it comes to what he said so far. In my opinion, in the long run, what we're gonna have to see is him dog walk Volk. And if it's anything close, he's gonna have to eat a lot of crow because he made a lot.
What if he goes in and knocks his ass out? He's gonna have so much crow to eat. Like, you might as well just delete yourself off of fucking all the social medias.
I'm telling you, man, because those memes, the people that make the memes before the fight is over with, I'm waiting on them.
They already got it made. They already just waiting for the caption. You know what I mean? They just waiting for the fight to happen.
Right, and then on top of that, a little bit of more boxing stuff. What's going to happen with Terrence Crawford? Terrence Crawford has all of a sudden put out on his Twitter the fight that everybody wants to see, him and Canelo, because Canelo is not fighting the Hernandez brother. We do not know why. For some
I
odd
think
reason.
I thought I saw something too about Haney and Crawford.
Yeah, it's a mix because the idea is Crawford is at a lower weight class than what Haney is right now. Haney does not want to come down. In my honest opinion, Devin Haney has always been a larger man in a smaller weight division. And now that he's a full grown, I think like 24, 25, cutting that kind of weight is probably too much for him. I don't think Haney's going down to 145, nothing crazy like that. But in my opinion, if we get to see somebody push the button for Canelo and possibly Crawford, that would make more sense. But if Haney somehow can get in the mix with either maybe Tiafimo, then that will be, we'll get to see if maybe we get a catch weight after those two. But of course, that money is always going to talk, and BS walks 1,000 miles. And Canelo's camp is always like, I got the phone. The phone, I have it here. You are waiting. That's his favorite thing to say. I got the phone. I got it. So, we'll see what happens with this one, but keep your eyes peeled. A lot of trash talk is happening right now in boxing. Tank versus Devin Haney is the real, like, eye-popping numbers matchup that people are throwing out there. But once again, the supposed thing is Turkey Al Sheikh, once again, alhamdulillah, all that good stuff has been folk like putting the feelers out there. And supposedly Tank told them, and this is me watching and reading, and shout out to Hot Boxing Minute on TikTok. Make sure y'all go follow my guy Hot Boxing Minute on TikTok and Twitter. He put out the feeler that in order to even sign the paperwork to fight in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Tank wants everybody, him and David Haney, to have Lamborghinis.
Oh, I saw that, like a Maserati or something.
Yeah, Maserati. He wants them to have that in Riyadh before they even see the paperwork. So I think this is one of those, once again, this is one of those feelers that they put out there in social media. How many times do we see the name Haney? How many times do we see the name Tank? How many times do we see them associated with one each other? And then we'll figure out if this is the one. But for real, though, like those two fights that we have to see, Tank Davis has to fight someone. Okay, has to. And then Canelo Alvarez has to fight someone. Will it be at the end of 2024 or in the summer? We won't know. But as of right now, we're looking at Bud Crawford. We're looking at Devin Haney. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I can't remember. I was looking at this guy I follow. His name's Jedi Goodman. He posts a lot of stuff he cuts a lot of clips from Ariel's show, and pretty much like anything anybody's trying to talk. But I thought he had posted a tweet about what's his name? The promoter. Al
Heyman?
Yeah, I think so. It's going to talk to somebody, and I can't. It was I don't remember what day it was, and it was that, and I was like, oh shit.
Let's see, because shout out to everybody knows, man, the boxing promoters of the world. If you're not like Oscar De La Hoya, where you're out in front of people and you're doing a little partying with Oscar, you really don't really see the guys who behind the scenes are holding all the strings. So there are several. Of course, one of the things that happen in boxing that we typically don't see in other forms of combat sports is that there are so many sanctioning bodies that it really makes for a really difficult time to get bends, like the boxing promotions to agree, to get the fighters to agree, because the guys have, I got this fighter, he fights at this weight, he fights at that weight. In my promotion, he does this. We got to agree on, where to be viewed at. Is it going to be on the zone? Is it going to be Showtime? Like a lot of that stuff, cuts into us getting the fights that we as real, boxing enthusiasts want to see. Right now we're very blessed to have somebody like Turkey Al Sheikh and the benefactors in Riyadh putting up tons of money to kind of say, all right, everybody just be quiet. let's sign the paperwork. And it really hasn't happened like that in consecutive fights in years. But hey, when you got the money like these oil tycoons in Saudi Arabia and all that, you can do what you want. You know, me and you might have to fight. They put up enough money, goddamn it. That's how I feel. But yeah,
it was Eddie Hearn, who's obviously a big boxing promoter. He was going to go talk to somebody, and I don't remember who the fuck it was. So
when we're thinking about boxing promoters, Eddie Hearn is up there. Bob Arum is up there.
Yeah, it was Eddie Hearn said he was going to go talk to somebody, and I don't remember. Like, I don't remember what day I saw it, but I was like, oh shit, it was about trying to hook up a fight, and now I don't remember who the fuck it was. Sometimes I need to start saving some shit so I know.
Listen, we gotta bring more other boxing to the forefront, bro. And then of course, you know, if I'm not mistaken, when is that PFL championship thing happening?
That's sometime this month too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna dive deep into that.
We'll look into that when that card's getting ready to happen.
February 24th.
Yeah, so in a couple weeks we'll look at that. We'll probably do that in 2 weeks' time. We'll do the post UFC post show and then preview that card. Nonetheless, who cares? We got a shout out, quick 2 birthdays. Shout out to our guy Khalil Roundtree. Happy birthday yesterday, and happy birthday today to the Black Beast. Derek Lewis, one of my favorite fighters. The Black
My balls
Beast.
Was hot.
Mr. Balls is hot. Mr. KO King, Derek Lewis. So, other than that, this has been another great episode of Head Kicks and Haymakers from my guy Witt. I'm Bodkins. We'll be back. Remember, folks, programming note again. We'll be back next Saturday for UFC 298 preview. So we're not sure. We'll work on the time. Got to work around my basketball schedule. So other than that, be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe to everybody tuning in, commenting. We appreciate you. We'll be back with that UFC 298 preview. Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria. That card's pretty good. Then the next 2 cards. This is the last low weekend for a little bit, and then it's going to start, popping off with the UFC and even the PFL Bellator Championship. So we'll get into that. Be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. See y'all.
Peace.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.
Damn, the Dan outro.